we are having a lot of the fam on the podcast. And so today, our special guests are Jason and Maddie.
Marrying into the family. It was a little nerve-wracking because it's like, okay, now there's like 20 adults I feel like I have to be around all the time.
All right, let me quiz you. Name her siblings in order of age.
Ooh. Maddie and Cam.
Okay, good. Is he right? Is he right?
Wow, yeah, he's right.
Wow. Okay, now can you do it?
Yeah.
Probably not in order though, can you?
I think I
I
can.
always get asked in order, so
Okay,
you have to get asked in order.
Okay, Josh, Jana, John David, Jill, Jessa, Ginger, Joseph, Josiah, Joanna, Jedediah, Jeremiah, Jason, James, Justin.
What's going on, guys? Ginger and Jeremy, we're back for another episode, and we are tucked away in Ben's church office.
Yes, we are. We're back in Arkansas here, and we have some very exciting guests for you guys. We are having a lot of the fam on the podcast. And so today, our special guests are Jason and Maddie.
What's going on?
Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Yes.
Glad to have you.
We're so excited.
The
to be here.
newlyweds.
Yes.
Yeah.
How long you been married?
Weds.
8 months? Has it been 8 months?
It's been 8 months.
Wow.
October.
Since October.
3rd.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
It's not
I guess
bad.
we stopped counting. I guess we stopped counting months, just counting down until a year.
That's right.
Yeah.
So fun. So fun.
How's it been?
It's been great. Honestly, it's been a journey, adjusting to not being single. I think that's a whole thing. A lot of people don't
That
talk
is a whole
about,
thing, yeah.
It is.
So that's been good, but it's also like amazing. I mean, it's the best blessing ever. I get to spend every day with my best friend. And
That's sweet.
it really is the best thing ever. Nothing like it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So.
Yeah.
So talk about how you guys met.
That's a good one.
Sounds better when you tell a story than when
I
I
kind of want to
Yeah.
hear you tell it. Go ahead, Maddie.
What's the more exciting version, Maddie's version?
Oh,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say more exciting, but it almost sounds creepy when I say it.
It's not.
But I always clarify that it's not creepy in any way.
Slid
I
into
can
the
clarify it for you.
DMs.
That's
No,
okay. You
I
get into
am
it.
not a DM slider. It doesn't matter who you are. I was never a DM slider. But yeah, I had kind of seen 19 Kids and Counting growing up. Not really a whole lot, but my mom and I watched a few episodes. Just our friends recommended it. And then I was on TikTok one day and it was where the Duggar kids are now. And I was like, oh, this is cool. I recognize this family. So I just watched it and I saw Jace in it. And I was like, oh, he's my age. He's kind of cute. I should just,
Shucks.
do what every girl does and look at him on Instagram. So look him up on Instagram, like one of his posts and follow him. And that was the end of it. He's just going to be another cute guy I followed on Instagram. But then Jace just so happened to see it. I guess you were were you pushing the message button or
So
something?
yeah, I don't really know how to use Instagram very well. I mean, I've gotten a little better at it, but I clicked on the heart button up in the right, thinking I was clicking on the message button, which is not the same thing.
Right.
And I figured out, okay, you can see, I was like, whoa, I didn't even realize you can look at everybody that's followed you, who's messaged you. You can see it from one place. And I'm like, that's brilliant. I was literally telling somebody the other day, they need something like that. And they had it. So, so they had it. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Well, the girl that was at the top was Maddie, but it had bubble letters. It was MADS. So I saw the bubble letters and I was like, that's cool. That's a new feature that Instagram has. Well, it wasn't. It was just something that she
He's
put on
10
there.
years behind the time.
Yeah, literally. So then I click on that and I'm like, dang, that girl's hot. And that was it, and then I saw, she's
So you
Christian
had to
too.
stalk me to find
Yes,
out
I did.
that it wasn't a feature.
So I gave her a follow, and then it was probably a week later. I was like, wait, I followed that girl. I wonder if she followed me back because accepted it because it was a private account. So then I went back. She accepted it, and I was like, I'm gonna message her.
Yeah.
Because I was telling Jan.
So you didn't slide into the DMs?
No.
Jason
did.
slid into the
He did
Yeah.
the DM
I said slowed. He slid.
She just had liked a few videos. So somehow when I clicked on that, her name was up at the top of that thing.
Yeah.
God's
That's
providence.
crazy.
I know, truly.
And
Yeah.
Instagram, that was not
Yeah.
what you would think. I didn't think I would meet my future husband on Instagram at all. I had no intentions. I did think you were cute. I was like, oh, this is a cute guy. And then completely slipped my mind. And then it said Jace Duggar followed you. And I was like, that's so weird. Why would he do that?
Literally, your
But
mom was
why
like,
would he
this has
do
got to
that?
be some sort of
Yeah.
a bot or something.
Yeah.
Mom
This can't
thought
be
you
real.
were a scammer. And
Yeah.
she said, do not text that man back. Yeah.
You're like, I think this is real. I think this is
That's so
actually
funny.
him.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
you were asking to
Great.
FaceTime.
But real quick, we need a quick little bio of
Yeah.
Maddie because you say guy, you don't say guy. So
I was like,
What is that?
you got an accent.
Yeah.
Where's that coming from?
It's from East Tennessee. Yeah.
Wow.
I lose it, but it comes back sometimes too.
You haven't lost it. I'll just reassure you. Right?
Okay.
She hasn't lost it.
I've lost
really
some
fair.
of it. It's not as thick as it was, though.
Talk
It-
thick. Can you talk like what would the thick accent sound like?
No.
It's like a banjo, you know?
No. When you do get around my grandparents, sometimes you say that you can't really understand. Like, you just agree. Like,
Yeah.
because they have a really
Really?
thick Southern
What would that
drawl.
sound like?
I don't know.
Best impression.
No, I don't. I have to be in the same room as like Southern
Yes,
people.
and
Yeah.
then you fall
And
into
then it
it.
clicks in, and I'm like,
Boom.
oh, I can totally relate. But you guys have the LA accents. I
Right.
don't know what I can
Yeah.
slip
Which
back into it.
I mean, like we would try to impersonate that, but we can't.
No.
You know? It's
Yeah.
I don't think we have accents.
yeah.
No, for sure not.
See, I
I
don't
slip
think we
into
do
it
either.
when I'm back around people.
I don't
I
think
don't
I,
have
do
any
either.
accent.
You don't really.
So,
But there's a few words already I'm picking
Yeah.
up.
yeah.
Like
You know,
guy.
but when we first started dating, it was really thick because you were around them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But then when we probably 5 months before we got married, you were down in Arkansas a bunch. She would come and stay in the girls' room and stuff.
Because you bullied me out of it.
I know.
I'm just kidding. You really didn't.
Yeah. But it was like but I noticed then she started to change to that, like, whatever we have, like a Cincinnati accent or I always think
Yeah.
it's kind of that, that Ohio accent, really.
So you think you got more Ohio twang than Arkansas?
I think it's almost mom's accent, I want to say, because
Yeah.
some of the ways that
makes
we,
sense.
pronounce words.
I don't even think you guys have an accent. Like, you just talk very proper,
Yes.
but there's no, like, it's just so flat.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's
Tall.
proper, flat. So this is how Southerners have, the deep accents.
Yeah.
They look at you if you don't have that twang. They're like,
Right.
it's boring.
Exactly.
Like, what's the fun in
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
That's
You just
so
say
true.
words how they're written.
Exactly.
You know?
That's not fun.
No.
You got to add a little draw to it.
Yeah.
I just think everybody can, like, understand you. Like, you're a good middle ground.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
don't have a city accent, but you don't have a Southern accent. Like,
Yeah. Well, I do when I get on the phone. I'll say that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just a business thing. I think it's what you do. Like when Jed gets on the phone, car salesman, you got to put on your Southern. I mean, you got to.
It's so
Really?
bad.
You're giving away
It's-
secrets of the trade
Well,
here.
it happens. It's not even like something you do or intentional about. It just happens. Your Southern accent will naturally come out.
Well, I
All
think most of your customers have a deep Southern drawl, so you gotta fit
Emulate.
in.
Is this Jason Duggar Automotive Sales?
No, I do trees, but that's okay.
He said selling cars.
I said
about
it's like Jed when
Oh,
he's
when
on.
Jed, okay.
Yeah, Jed when he gets.
Is this Jason Duggar Tree Service?
Yeah.
What would you say in your Southern twang?
I don't even know. I can't. I got to hear it. I mean, if it's an old,
We're
if
so
it's an
bad.
old, dude,
Okay.
then I'm locked in.
I like it. So you're Vol, right?
Yeah.
And he messages you. Your mom thinks he's a Russian bot. What happens next?
I don't know. We just kind of, well, first of all, Jace invited me immediately, basically, to the Duggar New Year's Eve party.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You
Not
just
knowing where I'm
messaged her
from.
and said, "Hey, come on out to our house."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Duggar way.
because
That's the Duggar way, isn't it?
it
That is the Duggar way.
It's like, come on over.
Yep.
You don't know who the person is. You don't know if they're going to murder
This
you.
is how her diary got stolen, bro.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Literally.
It is. It is on
That's
a party
right.
I was in on New Year's. It was on
Well,
the 4th of July.
She was also a loose cannon.
Yeah.
That lady.
That
Yeah.
lady was a little
Yeah.
bit of a loose
She's a little
cannon.
crazy.
All righty.
I would not have stolen your diary, but I didn't go to the New Year's Eve party.
you.
Yeah.
So
I
he's
was
just
10
like, were you
hours
guys
away.
like talking back and forth, and then he invites you out?
Yeah, we're talking each other up. We're like, oh, yeah. Well, I went on this mission trip this year. Well, I traveled this year. Now,
Literally.
you know how it is when you start talking to someone. You're like, oh, what's the best
Show your
qualities
best
myself?
sides.
So there are paragraphs where it's like, oh, this is how I've served this year, and this is where I've traveled and stuff. So they're funny
how
to look
has
back
your day
at.
been,
That's
Maddie? And it's
Yeah.
like almost too much,
Yeah.
We want to take a break from this episode to tell you about Cozy Earth.
How'd you sleep last night?
Great. Thanks for asking. Because I was sleeping in our bed and we have Cozy Earth sheets on them.
Cozy Earth, everything. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait. I know I'm at that age in life where you start looking forward to going to bed. And our kids obviously are like fighting bed, and all we want to do is go to bed. And Cozy Earth has participated in that.
It's been super helpful.
It's contributed to that longing to go to bed.
Oh, yeah. I mean, anytime that you travel, you always say you want to come back and get in bed because of the Cozy Earth sheets.
And here's something we got to tell you guys about the Bubble Cuddle Blanket. You lose yourself in luxury with the Cozy Earth Bubble Cuddle Blanket. This blanket offers a combination of comfort and style with its distinctively textured bubble design, intricately woven from ultra soft fibers, showcasing an extended plush pile and mid-weight construction. This faux fur blanket makes the perfect centerpiece for your living room or your bedroom.
Yeah, and they have a free 100-night trial. So if you don't like their sheets, then
You're
you can
going to like them.
send
I
them
don't
back.
know why we keep saying this.
Yeah, but you're going to like them. So go ahead and get yourself some Cozy Earth stuff.
Go to cozyearth.com. Use Ginger's code, Ginger, Jinger, for 40% off site-wide. Okay, we're going to tell you quickly about ZocDoc, and Ginger needs it right now.
I feel like I need ZocDoc right now. I've never had allergies a day in my life, and all day I've been sneezing. My nose is itching. I feel like my eyes get a little watery. Maybe this is why I need ZocDoc right now.
Yeah, so go to ZocDoc. It's online booking for any of your medical needs. So you need a dentist, you need a doctor, you need a checkup. Are you sick of asking WebMD? For goodness sakes, you have a problem, you go to WebMD and they go, yeah, it could be the common cold or cancer. And it just leaves you spiraling. You need a doctor, go to ZocDoc. It makes it so convenient. Honestly, I'm the type of guy who will not go to the doctor because of the inconvenience of scheduling and booking and finding the right doctor.
ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors, and you can instantly book an appointment.
Yeah, with ZocDoc, you can book in-network appointments with more than 100,000 doctors across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, primary care to urgent care, and more. So here's what you need to do. Go to ZocDoc.com/Ginger, Jinger, to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com. That's ZocDoc.com/Ginger and book an appointment today.
Now back to the episode.
And then we started FaceTiming after that. And yeah, my mom was like, do not FaceTime that man. You're going to face. I'm like, it's not going to be some
jump to the
foreigner.
screen.
Like it's not going to be like, you know, like somebody like from a call center. Like it's going to be okay. I promise. So
Yeah.
it was Jace. And then we just ended up talking.
Were you nervous that it would be not Jason when you first did that?
Not really. I was like, okay, like for this to be a bot, there's too much personality. Like it didn't talk like ChatGPT.
AI's getting good.
AI's
It
pretty
is.
solid.
A year ago, I don't think it was as good.
Sure.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't
sure.
know.
True.
Maybe it was, but yeah.
So what did you say when he invited you out to the party? Were you just like, I can't make it?
I was like, well, where are you from? Which I kind of knew where you guys were from. I didn't know exactly where, but I knew Arkansas, I thought. And I was like, okay, that's still a far ways away. Because East Tennessee is like still at least 7 hours from Arkansas. I was like, there's no way this is happening. So I was like, where are you from? And he's like, oh, you know, Northwest Arkansas. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm from East Tennessee. Like, that's at least 10 and a half hours.
And then I was like, wait, what part? I have friends from there. And you're like, Oneida or whatever. So then I was like, okay, you're really, really far away.
yes.
Yeah.
Because we live close to the Bates family.
Which is funny. So we
wild.
talked, we like messaged each other for probably like a week. We FaceTimed at about the week mark.
And then what happened, babe? Tell me what happened after that.
Well, and then I was like, hey, I just see us as being friends.
yeah.
Because I was like, I just don't see this going anywhere. I just see us as being friends. And really what it was is like we were both, I mean, you said it all the time. We were both really uncomfortable just because I felt like we couldn't be real with each other. It's like we put up a front. Yeah, it happens, you know, I mean, if you go on a date, it's going to happen, you know, it's you that sometimes that wall is hard to be real with the person there.
Especially because we met online.
Right.
Like, I was like, okay, this is a guy I don't know. And the only, like, impression of you I had before that was, like, online stuff. And I was like, well, I don't want to look him up. I don't want to learn about him through that. But I've also, like, seen you on the show. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I know I'm very different from them. So
and it's
it was scary
awkward,
for
too,
you,
when you're FaceTiming. There's nothing to really break down those walls. Like, you're just talking. And then, you know, it doesn't feel natural. So it just didn't feel natural. We were very, you know, it was odd. But then, so then it was like, hey, let's just be friends.
Yeah.
And Maddie was like, oh, okay. All right. Yeah, let's be friends. I'm good with that. And I think we were actually kind of,
we were
I
like,
was good with that maybe. I don't know.
I told you I was good with that, but
Yeah.
I was like, I was kind of liking you, but I also knew like I couldn't be myself and you weren't being yourself too.
It was not natural.
But instantly I was like, oh, I can just be myself and just like, because there's no pressure of like, where's this going to go? What, like, do I have to maintain a relationship? So I was just myself. And shortly after, I don't think it was the same day, but maybe even the next day, Jace was like, hey, I think I jumped the gun. You have a lot of personality. I was like, so do you. What happened?
Yeah,
like, where'd this come from?
Yeah, it was like a few days later, and I was like, okay, I probably jumped the gun on this. Yeah, I probably made a mistake by saying that so soon.
Were you guys FaceTiming at this point?
We would FaceTime, and
Well, we had stopped. Whenever you said we would be friends, like we stopped. We were just
okay.
texting.
Were you guys like talking for like hours and going, whoa, this is happening too fast. This is so unknown.
We would text throughout the day.
We would text throughout the day, and we would FaceTime like
in the evenings, maybe
once a day or once every other day.
Yeah,
for like an
occasionally.
hour or something.
Yeah.
So it was kind of moving fast. Like, but we wanted to get to know each other, and it's hard when you're long distance getting to know each other.
I was like, I'll just be intentional, make the time, get to know each other. But I think when we finally were like, okay, all the pressure's off. Let's just have like enjoy each other's company, like just friends. Then I was like, okay, she's not just a friend. Like, I want more than that.
You're like, oh, she has personality. We can get along. Yeah. And it was really good after that.
Yeah. And I feel like it from then on, that's when I told you then I was like, okay, like, I want to maybe be a little bit more than that. And then you were about to like tell me.
I was about to put a stop to it because Jace had said, let's be friends. And then I was like, oh, great, let's be friends. But then Jace was still kind of a little flirty with me. And I was like an hour away. I was praying. And I was like, Lord, if this guy doesn't either say something and go back on it or like he doesn't stop and just like really figure out how to just be friends with me, I'm going to have to say something. And I was like, Lord, I don't really want to say something. That's so awkward.
But you said you were an hour away.
Yeah. I was an hour away from doing that.
Oh, an hour? I thought you were like driving
It's an hour out
No.
to...
I was an hour from saying, like, I was like, Lord, like, I'm going to give it an hour. Like, I don't want to text him back immediately. That sounds weird.
Yeah.
But he was like, oh, like, I don't know. I think you'd seen a picture of me and you're like, oh, that's really cute or something like that. And you were still like
very
more than friendly. So, but you came back.
And I remember talking to, I think it was Noah.
Sure.
I called him and I was like, dude, I think I may have stuck my foot in my mouth on this one. Like, and so it was good to talk through it with a bro. And I realized I was like, I think it's really easy when you for me, it was easy just to want to have that distance. Maybe it was some things in the past that I hadn't worked through, and I kind of took that, maybe took that out on you a little bit at first, but I started to realize, I think when you're honest and when you're real with each other, when you don't, put up a front, then, I just started to realize that, it was you that I wanted to spend, spend my life with, get to know better at least at that point.
I mean, how long did it take for you to get to that point where you're like, I want to marry this girl?
Well, from the time that we met until we were married was 10 months. So
crazy.
Met as in like started talking online?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when was the first visit? Did you go out there, Jace, or did she come to Arkansas?
So
what was it?
after we finally, after I was like, okay, hey, I jumped the gun. I think it was probably a week from then.
Yeah.
And it was like late one evening.
You decided, the night before, because it was going to be the only weekend you could do it.
Yeah.
So he ended up coming to visit because if not, he was about to leave the country for like 2 weeks.
Oh, that's right.
And it was going to be 2 months.
We were going to Italy and all over.
Oh, yeah,
basically Italy and all over.
All of Europe, basically.
Yeah.
So,
So it was like now or never type thing because we were going to leave the next weekend. And so we were like, I was like, I'll just come up there right now. And Maddie's like, no, you won't. Like, yeah, I will. I'm gonna drive. I think I drove that first time, didn't I?
Yeah, you drove.
And then after that, I just knew, okay, this is where the Lord has me. This is where He's got me. I feel like when I was in that initial part of like maybe before we had ever spent that time with each other, I feel like I came into it with obviously some reservations. You meet someone online. I think that's probably a wise thing to have some reservations, but and you want to spend that time with them, but in person to get to know them, right? But I think the Lord grew me a lot, even up until that point, because some of my reservations were not, for the right reasons. I don't think they were of the Lord. They were just like probably fleshly reasons, or, and so I started to realize that, and I was like, okay, I need to release those things. And the Lord really worked on my heart in those ways. And, it's probably some of the conservative things that I grew up into. And it's like, some of those things don't matter quite as much. There's some of those things that are important, salvation and some of the different doctrine points. But also other things like that are maybe not as clearly in Scripture,
Sure.
And so when you kind of step back, look at it as, okay, is this biblical, not biblical? I think it gives you that freedom in Christ to say, okay, who is I think that was it for me. Who were you as a person? What was your heart for Christ? And when I got there, I saw that, you were serving in your church, that, you had made your faith your own, instead of it just being something that I think, it's pretty easy to let your faith be your parents. And if you're in a really really, strong Christian home, and you're in a strong Christian home, but
definitely wasn't the picture of conservative,
of the conservative
so
side.
It definitely was different for you to have to step out. I was definitely the most different girl you'd ever dated. So
and to see that you had stepped out of that, and even, you're in college and your faith was your own. You're with the girls that you're with. You guys are encouraging each other in the Lord. Like, to see you in your natural habitat, if you will.
Oh, okay.
Showed me that, hey, this girl's
you were watching
legit.
me in my natural habitat.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like your faith is your own. And I think that was that's the thing that's just most attractive to me.
We want to take a break from this episode to tell you about Range Leather.
Yeah, Range Leather is a phenomenal leather company. And I know we're always looking for gifts for your husband or for your kids or whoever, and you want high quality stuff at a good price. Range Leather is your solution.
They are American handmade leather products with a lifetime guarantee, made in Wyoming.
Yeah, and you can even do customization stuff, so you can get your own logo on your hat. This is Range Leather. Love this hat. It's a Christian owned and run business. So if that encourages you to check them out, go to rangeleather.com. Their bags, Ginger,
I
love
them.
their bags.
I love their bags. So they have all different options that you can choose from. They make the best gifts. And I have the Mesa bag, and it's incredible. I mean, just the perfect tote for any little items you have. It could be a purse. It can be used as a diaper bag, which is the season I'm in currently with a little one. And so it's the best thing.
Go to rangeleather.com. Use code Ginger, Jinger, for 15% off. Explore the website. There's something in every price range, and there's something for everyone. You could really do a one-stop shop for any kind of gifting.
We want to take a break from this episode to tell you about Function Health.
Yeah, so I don't know about you, Ginge. Well, I do know about you because you send me reels all the time. We are overloaded with information in our world, especially with social media, and a ton of it saying, you can't eat eggs anymore, or running's bad for you. Running's good for you. You just never know. If you want to know how you're doing health-wise, Function Health is your answer. It gives you all of the data on what's going on inside your body. It gives you blood samples. It lets you know if you're healthy, and if you're not, where you're not, and how to improve your health.
Yeah, you can test over 160 biomarkers, from heart and hormones to toxins, inflammation, and stress.
Yeah, so learn more about your health by going to Function Health. Join using our link. The first 1,000 people to join get a $100 credit toward their membership. That's a big deal. You get a $100 credit toward your membership for the first 1,000 that sign up. Go to functionhealth.com/Ginger, Jinger. Use gift code GINGER100 to sign up and get started on really taking your health seriously. So that's functionhealth.com/Ginger. Use code GINGER, Jinger, 100 to get that special offer for our listeners only.
That's so amazing.
Now, you had seen the show, so did you know about like kind of what the show was and why they had a show, like because of some of the convictions or because of some of the way they did family, or whether it was like modesty standards or things like that? Like, how familiar were you with the world he was in?
Yeah, I had watched a good enough bit of it to kind of understand that, okay, I'm definitely like him branching out. And so I was a little concerned. I was like, oh no, like, oh, I'm nervous. Like, I don't have the same modesty standards. Like, modesty is important, but it's not the same, obviously. And I was like, okay, like, I don't know if I'm going to be the same as them. And I didn't know, like, the IBLP, I didn't know what that was. I'd never heard of that before Jace. And so I kind of, like, I was trying to stay away from researching anything about Jace to not have any reservations. But, okay, this is a secret.
But you didn't.
I did listen to the first few chapters of your book, actually.
Really?
Because I was scared. I was like, okay, like, I want some truth to this. I didn't listen to a lot of it, but I had never heard of, like, the IBLP. I had never heard of it, and I was like, oh, okay. But you had a lot of hope to everything. It wasn't like, okay, this is terrible. You're getting into something that you shouldn't be. And I didn't tell him that until far down the line either, because I was like, I don't want him to think I'm like a creepy stalker, but I was like, I want some insiderness that's not from a news article. So I like listened to the first few chapters just to be like, okay, like, you know, okay, these people are normal. Like, they're still Christians, but I just didn't know. Like, I was a little confused. So, yeah, it was like a little scary at first just because I was like, okay, what if I'm too different for him? But then I was like, well, he knows who I am and I'm not hiding it. So obviously, like, he is branching out, but in a way that is okay for him and true.
I think it helped us to both be ourselves because, like, that was even something we talked about towards the beginning. And you would occasionally, you wouldn't upfront ask those questions. You just kind of drop them out there and then let me explain them. You know, and so it was like, even with all of the whole IBLP circles, you know, it was something I knew that you were concerned about. You just mentioned a little bit of something about it towards the end of the week that we spent with each other. And I was like, nice, that. Because you had read probably some of the articles. And when you read some of that stuff, you're like, whoa, like, that's crazy. And if you had thought that maybe that was something that we were still pretty heavily in, it would be, you know, pretty crazy stuff.
But I got to know you because it was like, okay, I'm not dating the whole family, so it doesn't matter if everybody has different opinions. Like, I just got to know you and where you stood and what your beliefs were. And so that was good. Because, like, even like yours and Ginger's, they aren't the same. And I knew that. I was like, I'm going to read the book, but I'm also going to know. Like, I eventually stopped because I was like, I feel a little wrong in this. Like, not telling Jace that, hey, I'm listening to this book, you know, that your sister wrote. So, but yeah, so eventually I was just like, okay, I'm going to get all of my information from him. Like, because people online don't know. Like, it's not inside of your head and who you are and your beliefs. So I just listen to you.
That's such a tricky thing because we, you know, like, being in such a public space, you have your lives on TV from when you're a kid, Jace, all the way up until you're older. And so Maddie could see all of that. She could go watch all of the episodes maybe that she didn't even watch. But then at the same time, it's not a bad thing. But then it also does provide that challenge of like, okay, now so much of my life is public, but also there are sides where people haven't seen and they don't truly know who you are because maybe they will come up with an assumption of what the character they remember of you on the show. And so that's really cool. I love how you guys were able to just talk through things and be real about like exactly what you saw and what your concerns were about things, but then also just getting to know Jace for who he was. That's a challenge. Like it's so hard when you're in the public space. And I think those walls that you were talking about, I don't know how, I guess just it's something that happens in almost any relationship. And so how do you like break down those walls and say, okay, no, we want it to be real? Because there still is that, you know, excitement about a potential relationship.
Yeah.
There are all the things that you're looking forward to, like chatting about. But then at the same time, it does put up a wall. Like when you're in the public eye, you're going to be guarded.
Yeah.
You don't want to say too much.
It's like being a juror on like a high profile court case and the judge is like, don't read the news.
Yeah.
Because you have to just see the facts for what they are.
Yeah.
And like if I type in CNN.com, like this is going to be all over the page.
Yes.
And I can't, I'm a juror. I have to make an objective decision.
Yeah.
And so you're dating this guy who his whole life has literally been on TV, the good, the bad, the ugly. And you're sitting here going, okay, I think I genuinely like this guy for who I know him to be. So I'm going to make him my news source.
Yeah.
That is an interesting challenge. But it sounds like you guys worked through it pretty thoroughly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it showed a lot of restraint on your side that you did, because it's easy to do that, you know, it really is, especially if, it's easy to find all those things and then even make assumptions off of who the family is, right? And then say, okay, well, that's, you can just copy paste or, you know, or whatever it is. You can pick any member of the family and then say, okay, well, maybe there's a part of that that's him. But I think it's really good just to step away from all that and say, all right, who is he as a person? And you did a really good job of that.
Yeah. I did cut it out. I was like, oh, this is not good. Because
it's a rabbit
everything
trail.
says everything different, too.
Yeah.
Any source you go to is totally different. So I'm okay, I may as well just talk to Jace about it. So.
It's something about our culture, too. We do whittle people down to a headline.
Yeah.
And we forget, just like every single one of us, if somebody had one tagline about our life, even the critics, I'm speaking to the critics, even people listening who are like, if somebody whittled down your life to one headline of one action or something like that, you would say, wait, but there's more to me than that. Wait a second, let's talk. Like, you don't even know me.
Exactly.
And yet we feel this like ownership over people in the public space to go, oh, I know who that person is.
Right, yeah.
Oh, I know what they're like.
Yeah.
It's like, you've never even said two words to them. And so now that doesn't mean you can't see real things about people from the public space, because people's actions have consequences and those sort of things. But you wanted to get to know who he was and where he stood. So did a lot of those conversations, were those just like interrogations, like in a sweet way, but like questions like, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? And are you just explaining your life?
I think so.
How did those conversations go? Were you asking her questions as well? Like, you're both trying to get to know each other, right?
Yeah. We both have terrible memories also. So I'm like, let me think back. But no, I don't think so. I think I tried to make it as natural as possible, because I was like, I don't want to interrogate him. And some of the things are like, they're not super important right now.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to know them before we think about the idea of marriage. But I was like, they're not so important right now that I have to drop him and I never think or talk to him again. So it was just fairly natural. Like, the biggest things I would ask you, I think.
Yeah.
Like, the IBLP one was kind of big. That's the only one that, like, sticks out to me, because I know there were more. But I just remember being like, okay, like, hey, like, I'm a Christian too, but what does this look like for you?
Right.
So.
Yeah. Because that'd be something, if that was still the case, that'd be wild, you know. You'd be splitting, you'd be out. You know, but for me, I mean, it was just something, I think when we got together, there were some of those questions that were asked right off the bat, maybe first week or whatever. And I mean, being long distance, there's a lot of conversations that we were able to have, and that was
Only
good.
Conversation. You
Yeah.
can't do anything together except talk.
Yeah. So I think the first weekend when we hung out, we had already talked through a lot of things, and I knew, you know, I mean, because there's, you know, if you meet somebody online, I feel like there's even more questions that you want to know because you don't have any context. So I was like, all right, you know, there was some of those maybe more doctrinal type questions, but it was really just to lock down, you know, what's your view on salvation and on like the really actually true important things, you know? And then really once you get the feel, I feel like that was it. I got the feel of like where your spirit was at, you know, where your walk with God was at. And then I knew, okay, at the end of the day, if the main points line up, if a few things are not whatever spot on, we're going to grow together in the Lord. Like, and if our hearts are right and in the right place, you know, and if we're both teachable and growing in Christ, then we'll grow together and we'll, you know, be stronger for it.
We definitely did too. Cause my journey and testimony with Christ, which has been kind of like public lately, like definitely grew a lot through our dating. Yeah. So like I had like my main points, but I also learned a lot like through you and through our relationship too. So it was like a journey together.
Yeah.
And I want to get into that because I think it's so sweet. And I really appreciate how you've shared your journey getting baptized just a couple of weeks ago. And I saw that and I was so encouraged because I feel like there's so many who grow up in a Christian home. They have so much knowledge. There's head knowledge of the Bible, like you were talking about a minute ago. And making your faith your own when you realize like there often is, it's hard to like nail down like, okay, this is a specific time. And that's okay. Some people realize like it's hard to remember exactly like this is the date, this is the time, all of these things. But you see that heart transformation that the Lord is working in you. And I think that I was so encouraged just to see how you very publicly shared your story and your walk of faith and how the Lord had led you to realize like you were seeing, okay, I don't know exactly, you know, like I think you were baptized maybe before you were saved. And then you wanted to make that public declaration that you were the Lord's and to get baptized. And I think that's a huge thing because it can be, some people can be embarrassed by that and think, oh, I'm too old. Like I just got married. People are going to think bad of me. All of those things that come to mind. And I really appreciate how you do that. So tell us a little bit, I mean, I kind of shared some of that, but like tell us a little bit about that journey.
Well, I definitely had all the thoughts that you just said, but eventually it just came down to, okay, it doesn't even matter. Like, it doesn't matter what other people think because I was afraid. Like, I was afraid of people who know me and people who don't know me. I'm like, what are they going to think? Like, am I a fraud, like living this life? Because I say I've never struggled with the belief in God. I've never struggled in the belief that, like, Jesus walked on this earth and he died for my sins. Like, I never struggled with the head knowledge of it. But I always put, like, the weight on myself to do the saving. I was like, what if my prayer wasn't strong enough? What if I wasn't heartfelt enough? What if I didn't repent enough just now? And so I have this amazing mentor that's at our new church that we just found. And she was just like, you know what? That sounds like a works-based relationship. I was like, no, surely it's not. Like, I never want to be works-based. Like, I don't want to be a works-based person. And she was like, it is, though. She's like, you're struggling because you think your relationship with Christ is relying on your works. And I was like, oh, I am. So I really just put, like, all the faith into myself. And I was like, okay, Lord, like, this is imperfect. And she was like, let's just nail it down here. She's like, maybe you have already given your life to Christ because over the years, I prayed the prayer often. I was like, Lord, just save me. But then it would be a week later, and I'd be right back at church and praying, Lord, please save me. And so it wasn't me doing anything wrong, but I just wasn't putting the faith in Christ that he did at that time. And I would just be like, okay, nope, we'll just do it again next week. And so I just lived in fear. And so that especially activated, like, even after we got married, I would go through seasons just of, like, this doubt and this fear. I'm like, well, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know, like, I know that I want to follow the Lord, but I don't know what I'm doing. And so, yeah, when I was 7, I thought I got saved, but I really did it with pride. I know it's hard to look at a 7-year-old and be like, you're so prideful. But I did it because I was like, I want to make everybody in the room happy and everybody look at me and be like, oh, she just got saved. That's amazing. Because I knew they looked at the little kids with excitement. And I look at a little kid the same way if they say, oh, I just gave my heart to the Lord, you know. But I was like, okay, I just want to make everybody happy. I don't really understand what I'm doing, but I know that everybody's going to really just be so excited. And so later on, I got baptized. And then I think my Bible collected dust for like the next 10 years. I became a Sunday school teacher, actually, which that was my big part where I was like, oh, what if I'm a fraud? But I had such like a heart that I was like, I want to teach these little children about Jesus. And so that was really hard coming to the conclusion that I was like, oh, what if I was misleading them? And people were like, no, well, your heart was in it. Like, I really was studying for them. Like, I wasn't studying the word for me. I was studying it for them. And I was learning and I was teaching them my head knowledge, but my heart just wasn't there in my own relationship with Christ. So it really took a lot. It took a big leap of faith to especially share it online too. So, because there was a lot of questions. It was like, well, you already did this. Like, why are you doing it again? And I was like, just because, like, I wasn't all there the first time. Like, I wasn't in it. It was like the Lord, I didn't invite the Lord into it. It was me doing it. So, yeah, it was really just, it was amazing. Like, my mentor just helped me through that. And there's been a lot of mentors along the way that have had the same conversation, but it just never I was just never in a season. And so Jace has a similar testimony, and that's actually what helped me just like to be able to talk through it with him.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think it's a common thing, you know, when you grow up in a Christian home, when that's strongly encouraged at a young age. And I think it's a good thing that it is. Obviously, that's great, you know, when Christ is encouraged. And when you grow up around good examples like that, that's awesome. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, it's an easy trap to fall in, though, where, you know, you make that commitment at a young age, and then you think that you know, you don't really recognize what it is maybe that you're doing. And then as you get older, you start to realize, okay, that maybe that was pride, maybe that was myself. For me, it was as simple as it didn't click that Christ loved me specifically and that he saved me specifically. Like just me. If it was just me, he would have saved me. And that, you know, it just, then you know, and it's really the Holy Spirit that does that, right? Like he, you know, the Lord comes and he lays that on us, and he really starts to grab a hold of us and show us who he is, shows us Christ. And so that's, you know, I mean, it was probably 7 when I first, you know, prayed the prayer, right? And then it was 11 in a day, 11 in 2 days, right? Like, you know, every day when I was 11, 12, 13, living in absolute fear, you know, waking up cold sweats. I would go to my parents' room and would sleep next to their bed, like at the age of 13, just because I literally couldn't sleep. And then it was when I turned 15, it just finally clicked. And I was like, you know, this, I've been living for myself. I've been living selfishly. This isn't right. You know, this isn't of the Lord. And, you know, it was when I was talking with a friend, and he just clearly shared the gospel with me. It's actually Jackson Bates. And, you know, he just clearly shared it with me. And I was like, whoa, like it makes sense. You know, and it was something as simple as just resharing the gospel again and going through it. And it was like, whoa, Christ died for me. That's so awesome. You know, so I think everybody's journey of faith looks a little different. You know, some people, they get saved at 5 and they, you know, they're of the consciousness to, I guess, remember that. I don't remember anything before the age of 11, but, you know, that's great. So, but, you know, it's just, I think everybody's journey of faith looks a little different. It's already been neat for us to both see how ever since you've made that leap of faith and you've recommitted your life to the Lord, and really, like, I've already seen that change in your heart, that peace in your heart. And, you know, now being baptized, already there's been people coming up saying, that's my story. That's something I went through. That's something I struggled with.
Yeah. I think that's something God has like really used to reassure me, because I was so scared about it. And I was like, what if my testimony, like, you know, I don't know how to tell people my testimony. And then it happened like 2 days after, like, I had rededicated my life, or maybe even first got my salvation, who even knows. But 2 days later, someone's at our kitchen counter and they're like, hey, you know, just starting a conversation about Christ. And I was like, oh, by the way, I just like got saved and I'm getting baptized. And they're like, what? And so I just go like naturally through my testimony, not even realize I'm giving my testimony, because I'm like, oh, that's such a big thing. Like, you know, people are always so scared to do that sometimes. But just like I'm naturally giving my testimony, and they're like, wait, I struggle with the same thing. And I feel like it really is so common in Christianity just to be like, I struggle with the same thing, but I feel like nobody else relates. And so I was even scared to tell Jace at first, because I had dated someone before Jace, and I had kind of told them that I was struggling with that. And they were like, if you're struggling with that, like, I don't want to ever talk to you again. And so it was just so like scary for me, because I was like, oh no, like, you know, Jace is going to do the same thing. And I do understand that. Like, you want to be sure that somebody has the same faith as you. But I had the same faith. I was just like, hey, I just want to have this assurance. But Jace, whenever Jace found out, he was like, well, let's work on this. Like, you know, and so we just worked through it. And, you know, I've always had that belief, but it was just so scary. But I think, there is a lot of pressure in, like, especially our circles, you know, to know that you know. And I feel like some people don't like always talk about that too.
Most definitely. Yeah. I mean, I was baptized when after we moved to California, because I realized, I think the time I kept thinking about it, and I was like, I remembered being saved at 14, but I was never baptized after that. I was baptized before a couple years because I prayed a prayer at 6.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing. I just for years after that, I was living for the Lord, loving the Lord. And there had been wrestlings before that. And I think that it was interesting at the age of, how old was I? Goodness, how old was I?
14?
No, like when I was baptized at 20.
Goodness, 27, 20?
20, yeah, probably 27.
Yeah.
28,
Yeah,
27.
it wasn't that many years ago at our church, our big church.
We were watching it. Yeah.
Yeah, I had the baptism link I sent out to the family, and I was like, I was never baptized as a believer.
Yeah.
And so it was something that, for so many years, it was kind of like humbling. I was like, wait, I didn't think too much about it. But then we went through times where I was like, oh, wait, I really want to obey the Lord and have this. Baptism doesn't save you. For anybody who's listening to this, like, baptism is not like a ritual thing that we do that saves us. It's an outward picture and like representation of just us being buried in Christ, raised to walk in newness of life. It's in public proclamation that we are the Lord's. And it's awesome and a gift that we get to partake in when we are a believer. And so I think that was something that it was really amazing to be able to do. But at the same time, you do have those thoughts like, oh my goodness, I've been married to a pastor for all these years. And I just realized like, wait, I wasn't saved then. And I really wanted to do this. Those things are humbling, but it's also like, there doesn't need to be this pride around it, thinking, okay, I have to keep up this perspective of what people think of me, because then that's just pride and it's not right. And it's the wrong motivation. And so I think I was so encouraged to see when you posted about it too, because I think that is huge.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I'm glad I did. I was really going back and forth. I was maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. But I was like, no, like if I can do the outward proclamation just in front of my church body, like why can't I tell other people about it? And so I was like, even if I get judgment from people, either it's people that don't know the Lord or people whose hearts aren't right with the Lord. So it's like, it doesn't matter what they think because it's like, they need to hear it. And so there was even like a lot of comments on that post that was like, oh, like this is my same story. And I was like, oh, that's just like so reassuring. But I feel like it is something that needs to be talked about more, because I always had the mindset, I was like, I don't care if you're 9 or 99. I'm going to celebrate your salvation and your baptism with you. But whenever it came to myself, I was like, this is embarrassing.
Yeah.
I'm scared. I don't want to make the step out. Like when the pastor at church is like, okay, like, hey, just make the step of faith. I was like, no, that's not me. He's not talking to me, you know? And so it wasn't the pastor that, led the prayer, but every Sunday he does the prayer. He's like, hey, pray with me, here's a prayer of salvation. But, I was going to our mentor's house to actually fill out the membership application for a church. And I went there, and she kind of already knew that I was struggling with doubts of salvation. I just slipped it in the conversation and then ran over. I was like, yeah, so anyways, how's your day? Like, I was like, hey, I'm struggling, doubts of salvation. But yeah, like, how are you doing? Like, I'm not a person to be like, hey, let's talk about this. And so the next time I came, I was like, hey, here's my membership form. I was like, yeah, I think I've nailed it down. I think Jace and I have nailed it down. Like, don't worry. And she was like, are you really not having any doubts? I was like, shoot, you've caught me. Like, I am having doubts. And so that was the first time, like in my entire life, I think anyone had ever walked me through the gospel as baby walked me through the gospel as she did. Like, and that was so humbling for me, but I needed it because no one had ever done that for me. Like, not to say that it's wrong on those people that didn't, because I knew some things in depth about the Bible. Like I knew I had done big studies and taught classes and everything. So everybody's going to think outwardly, oh, she's doing okay in her faith. But that was the first time anyone had ever sat down and been like, here's the whole gospel. Like, do you know this? Do you believe this? And it was so humbling because I was like, I do, but like, I never heard it said like that. I do, but I've never heard it in full, So it was just amazing just to be able to do that. And I'm like, I hope I can someday do that for someone else because like it is just so common, but it's more common than we think.
Wow.
I love that.
So much change so quickly for you in your life. How old are you?
21.
How old are you, Jace?
25.
Do you remember? Okay.
Just making sure. I just changed. So I got to keep up with
Hey,
it.
you guys are spring chickens.
Yeah. Thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah, you're welcome. You have one brother.
Yeah.
What's it like marrying a guy with 18 siblings?
Yeah. It's definitely different. I feel like it wasn't like as shocking and world altering as some people think. Like, it's amazing. I'm really glad that like it's a big family because I love kids. Like, I love working with kids and being around kids. And I wasn't gonna have any nieces and nephews before I had children because my brother is 15, about to be 15. Yeah. So, like, marrying into the family, it was a little nerve-wracking because it's like, okay, now there's like 20 adults I feel like I have to be around all the time. Like, you know, I'm used to working with kids, so whenever I'd like go to the big house for the first few times, I would just clean with the kids. Like, I would be like, oh, let me hold your baby. And then just talk about let's just talk about the baby the whole time. You know, oh, this is, you know.
It's nerve-wracking, yeah.
It was definitely
it's nerve-wracking for not just you. I mean, that's an intimidating place to walk into for the first time.
Oh, yeah, you're still freaked out
Because
sometimes.
it's a massive group
it's
of
crazy.
people, and everybody knows everybody. And you're trying to figure what's up from down. Is this a cousin, an uncle?
Right.
I still go in there and go,
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure he's related. Oh, not related. Okay.
Yeah, I just talk to people like I know who they are. Yeah, we've
It's
met
kind of a
before.
southern way. Kind of a southern
just,
way. I
just
like
the other
it.
night, I went in there and I looked at a young lady there. I said, have we met before? And she said, I don't think so. I went, oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
That's
Because then you feel bad. And it was Elijah's wife. And so I'm like, okay, I didn't,
Yeah.
don't know who's
Yeah,
who. You
no.
know, so yeah.
That's so
It's
funny.
okay. Yeah.
So,
Sometimes I forget names.
Yeah.
But
Was it tough for you to remember her brother's name? I mean,
Oh, it's so tough. Yeah. I mean, it's like
Jace, how's
just
that
totally
been?
Well, I mean, I feel like when you remember 19 names, that's all you can remember. Like, that's it. You actually
your
cap
brain's
out
full.
at that point.
Capped out, yeah.
And I had to
so.
remember my own in that, right? So then
True.
20 is tough,
Sheesh.
right?
It's a lot.
Yeah.
All right, let me
That's a
quiz you
lot.
because you always get this, and I always get this. All right, name her siblings in order of age.
Ooh. Maddie and Cam.
Okay, good. Is he right? Is he
wow.
right?
Yeah, he's right.
Wow,
Yeah.
job.
good. Cool.
Cam is not older than me.
Now,
so
okay, now can you
tough.
do it for
of his.
Jason? Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Probably not in order, though, can you?
I think
I
can.
always get asked in order, so
Okay.
you have to
Come
get
on.
asked in order.
Okay. Josh, Jana, John David, Jill, Jessa, Ginger, Joseph, Josiah, Joanna, Jedediah, Jeremiah, Jason, James, Justin, Jackson, Johanna, Jennifer, Jordan, Josie.
That's
Okay,
actually
I did
really
it.
good.
Right?
That was
That's the-
impressive.
Maddie, it's
better than
I've ever
Jared.
done. Your
That
timing
is
Better
is
than
first.
Jared.
flawless.
That's the first time that you've
Okay.
actually been able to, because normally you'll mix up like,
I
she'll
did mix
just
up
name
age
them all.
order.
You did.
Yeah.
You did
That's good job,
amazing,
man.
and you
Yeah,
did the
thank you.
twins in order.
Yeah.
That's
good.
impressive.
Well, the show intro did help. Like
It
Yeah.
did.
that
I'm
sticks
Bob.
with
My
you.
this is my wife Michelle. Welcome to the Duggar home. Like it starts out.
We
That was
just
the
did
first one,
an
right?
episode react of that first one.
Oh, really?
14 children and pregnant again.
Oh, yeah.
And Jackson is born on TV.
Oh, that's
I know.
so
That's wild.
We could not get over that.
well, I was
listening to
watching
watch
the
it. He's like,
episode, and then it's like, boom, whoa, they
I
show
know,
it.
Yeah.
And he said,
It
"Hey,
shouldn't
did
be
you know
legal.
that Jackson was born on TV?" I said, "Yeah,
Like, actually
never
born
seen
on
that.
TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was that famous intro.
Yeah.
And everybody's going down.
Well, he's like that TV show. You know, we've always said Jackson's like that TV show. You know, it's what's that? The Truman Show.
Truman Show."
Oh, yeah.
Jackson's
His whole life
Yeah.
has been
Yeah.
on TV. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Has that been something that you, as you've talked to Jason, like he's got these, everybody has a different life experience, but
yeah.
what's that been like getting into his world and understanding maybe things that he thinks about that you've never thought about? Maybe because of public perception or being on TV.
Yeah. Jace is so chill. I will say that. That's what I think of when you ask that. Like, Jace is so chill. Nothing bothers him. Nothing gets to him. I think you guys have just, like, experienced so much, dealt with so much. Like, you just are so chill. You just, like, you know how to deal with any situation. Like, you're always calm. You can always seek the Lord. And sometimes I'm just like, what's going on? Like, how are you reacting so calmly? Like, I don't know, just any situation we get into, I think. Like, you're just prepared or ready, or like, you're like, this doesn't surprise me.
I'm probably
Not much
screaming on the
phases-
inside.
Not
but
much
yeah.
phases you.
No, not at all. Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, I didn't grow up on TV or in the public eye or anything. Like, I went to a high school and graduated with 70 people, and like, that was the most people I'd been around. Like, but you've like been in the public eye and people know who you are. Like, you're online and you don't care what people say about you online. And me, I'm like, I don't know about it.
Yeah.
Should I say something?
Yeah.
I might. And you're like, babe, no, it's not worth it. But I'm like, I don't know.
She wants to call him out. I'm always like, there's no sense.
They're all Russian bots. Don't even worry.
That's
I know.
right. They're
I'm a
all
blunt
Russian bots.
person, but I try to calm it down for you.
Yeah,
No, I'm just
yeah,
kidding. I try- you balance me out very well. I will say that. Just you balance me out very well. We'll say that.
And you do too. You bring me out. You know, you bring out the best in me. You truly do, baby.
Yeah. It is. It is different. I didn't expect like the guy that I married to like grow up on TV.
Sure.
And, like, you know, to be a household name sometimes. You know, like you don't expect that. I feel like people from my town, like, know you more than any other town somehow. Like you walk into a room
Yeah, a lot of
here
them are
and
like-
nobody knows who we are, and I'm like, that's great, love that. We walk into anywhere in my town and people are like, oh my gosh, it's Jace and Duggar. I'm like, how do you know this? I'm from the middle of nowhere.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's a Walmart.
Like there's the Boondocks, and then you drive 45 minutes from there, and then you're in Oneida.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, her town.
Right.
So it is different. Like, that's different. I'm like, okay. But yeah, no, it's been chill.
Wow.
Yeah.
How has it been living in the big city of Arkansas? Because you're talking
yeah.
about the Boondocks. This is like big city.
Oh yeah.
Compared to where I'm from, we have like 3 red lights, 1 coffee shop, and a Walmart.
Wow.
So it's very different. I had not done a lot of interstate driving before coming here,
Crazy.
but everything here is interstate driving.
Yeah.
I taught myself how to drive
so
on the
cool.
interstate in college because my college was like 3 minutes off the interstate. But my town, you have to drive almost 40 minutes each way to get to the interstate.
Whoa.
Like from my
you
house,
are out there.
40
yeah.
minutes from
Oh,
the interstate.
my word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I live like a few exits up from the Bates.
Yeah.
And so that's just the middle of nowhere.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Funny. It's literally she's like 45 minutes from the Bates.
Oh, that's
Wow.
Yeah.
crazy.
But I'm 45 minutes in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, like way out in the windy roads too.
yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, so we got to talk about your wedding. Your wedding was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
It was a beautiful wedding.
It was so pretty.
We loved it.
Thanks. Yeah, it was a blur.
I loved,
Yeah.
yes, I loved the backdrop.
Yeah.
It was actually really pretty. I remember we went over there for the rehearsal. And when we were doing the rehearsal, I think there was like a guy either on the rehearsal or the day of the wedding. There was a guy down there
The tractor.
behind in the tractor. He was like baling hay or cutting the grass or something, I think. And I don't know if he realized what was happening up the hill.
No.
And he was like, that was the background. And I kind of
Yeah,
loved that.
I
It felt
know.
kind of rustic and like you had the
Yeah.
cross that was the backdrop. And then
Yes.
you had this beautiful landscape and then these mountains. So I love that. But everything about your wedding was gorgeous.
Thanks.
The whole story of how we found that venue too is like crazy because obviously everything was so last minute. And were we like 2 months out until we were going to be married?
No.
And was it
Not
even sooner?
Well, we did pick the venue before we got engaged.
Right.
So
right.
maybe it was.
But it may
maybe
have
it was 2
maybe
months.
like a month and a half because I remember they were like, okay, at the 60-day mark, you give the first payment or whatever.
Like your
so it
deposit
was
or
like, oh, I'll give both deposits because we're that close. Like that's how close it was.
Wow.
But like just the whole way it worked out, we looked at probably
I don't
6 or 7
know.
venues.
Maybe even more.
It was
we had one
crazy.
venue and they kind of drug us along for a while thinking they could do it just basically because they knew who Jace was. And they were like, oh, yeah, we can do it. And then it
make it
came down
work.
to it. And they were like, oh, we're going to charge you an extra $30,000 or something like
Yeah, it
that
was pretty
because you
crazy.
guys have a big group. And I was like, you did not tell us like 3 weeks ago. So we were scrambling to find a venue.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, like that's not cool.
Yeah.
So we were scrambling to find a venue, and we had drove all over Tennessee because I was like, I want it to be where my home is because a lot of my family can't travel that far. Like I still have all my grandparents, and I was like, I want them to be able to travel, and I want like the Tennessee mountains in the background. Like I knew what I had my heart set on,
Yeah.
and so there was one left. We were like an hour and a half out, or we could go an hour home.
It was like the one that we didn't want to go to as well
Yeah.
because it was
Middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere. It was a little further drive outside of Knoxville. And so, but we're like, all right, let's just do it. Let's buckle down. Let's do it. We pull up and it's like,
This
wow,
is it. Yeah.
this is beautiful.
It was- yeah.
We met them, and Brad and his wife. They're like,
They're amazing.
so sweet.
They're
like,
the sweetest
love the
Christian
Lord.
people. And it was so crazy too because the day of there was a rainbow like above our
Yeah.
venue.
Yep.
And I was like, all right, Lord. Like I was literally praying. I was like, Lord, just let us find something. Like I'm done looking at venues. I'm about to just have it in my backyard. Like I don't want to do this anymore. And I think there had been a rainbow like on the way back to Tennessee too. And it was like, hey, like I'm going to provide, like it's going to be okay. Cause it was kind of a stressful time. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get everything done. Like we wanted to get married sooner than later. And I was like, I don't know if I can get everything done. I didn't realize how much stress it was going to be. Like even with the wedding planner, it's still a lot of planning. So, but the Lord still was like, hey, I'm still here. Like your wedding's going to happen and it's going to happen because of me. And I was like, okay, like this is good. This is great. It's a great place.
And then I remember we were driving to your venue on the day of the wedding. And it was right after some big storms. And so we literally got down to your exit after driving on that interstate for a very long time. We got down to the exit of the venue, and beyond that, the entire interstate was shut down.
Interstate was gone.
It was wiped out. Literally, the interstate was
gone.
And so it was really incredible how you could make it to that point, and there were police officers directing you off the interstate to the venue. Which was wild.
Because we were, I'd messaged Brad and the venue owner, and I was like, hey, like, are you still there? Did you float away?
So
like, are you okay? Is everything good? And you know, thankfully, I mean, because it was bad. Like it
was
literally
so
washed.
It was the North Carolina floods.
And it washed
so
I-40 out. And that exit that was it right there.
There was no electricity at a lot of places, but your venue had electricity.
Still had electricity. And the only reason why we were allowed to do it there is because they have well water too. Because nobody had clean water. Nobody had water there. Everything was shut down. It was so sad just because the roads leading up to it, like the venue was on a mountain. So thankfully, like it wouldn't have gotten affected by the flooding, but maybe the water, electricity. But the roads leading up to it, it was so devastating because the people were like stripping their houses out. And like, it was devastating. Like some people were not happy that we still had our wedding there. But I'm like, it is devastating, but like, we can't move it. Like there was nothing that we could do.
And all the so much of the family was coming from helping in the disaster areas. And
they literally flew in. I remember there were so many who flew in that late at night, like right in time for the wedding.
One of my groomsmen literally came in the night before from helping on the deployment and then went back, after the wedding.
As soon as it was done.
It was awful. It's taken them so long to recover. They're still not even completely recovered. But
wow.
Crazy.
Well, we're so excited for you guys as you begin this journey together. 8 months in.
That's right.
So what's the immediate future looking like for you guys?
Well, you want to go ahead and tell him, babe?
No.
I'm just kidding.
He does
I do that
No.
You can tell
him. He does that to me all the time. We are not expecting at all. We are not
Please
trying to be
stop saying that we're expecting. That's for whoever's listening.
She's trying to finish up school.
Yes, I'm trying to finish up school. Like, we love babies. I love kids. We get baby fever. Like, but I want to wait and I want to just enjoy this time. Like, I can always get pregnant later on, Lord willing. But right now, we just want to chill. And you're still getting to know each other. Like, we know each other, but you're still getting to know each other. First year marriage. And so, I want to wait till after school. So I have 1 year of school left. I graduate next May, and I'm like, I don't want to worry about a baby before then, So I think we've got some time. So immediately, no babies at all.
Nothing
just
crazy.
Babysit and get humbled whenever we do babysit.
Well, I tell young couples in your position this all the time: get your judgment out, like enjoy it. I mean, like genuinely sit at dinner. Watch misbehaving children look at each other, say things like, we would never let our kids do that. Yes, sir, no, ma'am. Like that kind of stuff.
It's true.
Because once you have the babies, you won't be able to do that
All
anymore.
that is out the window.
So enjoy it. Enjoy the judgment. Because when you have the babies, judgment-free zone. It's like fitness. You all of a sudden go, oh, wait. Our kids don't behave perfectly.
Oh, I know.
What a sweet season. And so you're working, you're in school. Is that are you taking a full load of classes?
Yeah. So I took a break just because of the wedding. I took like a half load. I was doing homework on our honeymoon. So
Where'd you go for your honeymoon?
Fun. Italy and Greece. So I'm like overseas, like, nice. Okay, what time is it there? I have to submit this assignment. So doing that. And then I just took this semester off. So I've just been just getting used to the area. And I think it's been really good. Just kind of getting to know some people in the area and getting plugged in at our church and stuff. But then I'll start back class in August and then almost be done.
I love it.
Exciting.
Well, thanks for hanging out, guys.
Yeah, this is
we could
great.
talk for hours.
Yeah.
Appreciate you telling your story too, Maddie. And it's good for everybody to get to know you. It's good for me to get to know
Yeah.
you. We've
I'm
never
super
even really
excited.
sat and connected.
Not really.
Yeah, we
And
haven't.
you guys spend some of the day together, but
This is good.
Yeah.
This is fun.
it's really special. Hey, you got a good one, Jace.
I
Yep.
know. She's the best.
I got a good one too.
Congrats, you guys.
Thanks.
We love you guys. Welcome to the family, Maddie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome.
It's great.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out. And we will be back next week. So see you then.